What's up, you guys? Limo here, and today we're going to be talking about Immortals Fenyx Rising, which I'm not sure if you guys have actually heard about this game or not, because I feel like this game is kind of underappreciated and not spoken about enough. So I'm going to do a similar review to it like I did for Temtem. And Black Hokage actually spoke about this game during one of his streams, and he said it's super underrated. So I immediately got interested, and I went out to buy it. And I wanted to put in a decent amount of hours into it before I actually wrote a review on it, like any good video game reviewer should do. I think I put in about 20 or 30-ish hours, 25 hours. Yeah, I think I'm ready to write a review on it now. But shout out to Black Hokage. I'm going to put his channel in the bio, even though he's way more popular than me, but I've been watching him for like almost a decade now. But he's great, you guys should check out his channel too. And yeah, I think I've just played the game enough to understand what's coming in the future and to actually make a viable review on it. So let's get into it. So when it comes down to the story of this game, Typhon, who's a giant deadly creature in Greek mythology, he was imprisoned by Zeus, and he's just been spending a long amount of time under a mountain, and eventually he breaks out and he just becomes an absolute menace to society. He starts just taking away the powers of Olympian gods and just causing trouble all over. So Zeus, he sees his homies get embodied, he runs away, and he comes across Prometheus, and he's pretty much just asking him for help. Like, yo bro, you gotta get rid of this Typhon dude. So Prometheus makes a bet that Typhon can get beat by a mortal, and that mortal is Fenyx, which is you, the character you play as. And you can customize the character a little bit. You could choose male or female, and hair, skin, all that. It's not too crazy in depth with customization, but that's not really an important feature, I guess, in this game. You could argue it is, but to me, not really, especially when you have armor and stuff just covering up your entire body anyway. But there's definitely a lot of Greek mythology elements in this game, so if you're into that, you're probably gonna like the story of this game. Me personally, I don't really care about Greek mythology like that, but I'm still enjoying the story because they make it really lighthearted and comedic. They're cracking jokes that everyone can understand and enjoy. You don't have to be super into Greek mythology to enjoy the story, because like I just said, I'm not super into it, but I'm enjoying it. It's lighthearted, comedic, it's just, I like it. Although I have seen some complaints about the story saying it's not very memorable, and it's nothing crazy that you're gonna have stick with you, which I completely understand, because truthfully, this story probably isn't gonna stick with me either. But I kind of went into the game expecting the gameplay to be its strongest aspect rather than the story, so I'm perfectly fine with that. If I wanted to play a good story game, I'd go play a Rockstar game or something like that. But yeah, I'm not saying that the story is bad at all, but just know it's probably not the most memorable story you're ever gonna play. Next up, let's get into the style and sound of this game. Overall, just the artwork of the game. And truthfully, I like the style of art in this game. I actually love it, truthfully. Clearly, it's not a game with hyper-realistic graphics, but a game doesn't need hyper-realistic graphics to look good. The colors in this game are so vibrant and really just do a good job at making the game feel refreshing every time I look at it. The character models, they're obviously not super realistic either, they're a little on the goofy side, but it kind of pairs well with the comedic take on the story and the dialogue and things like that. The enemies also match the same feeling, and it's overall just great in my opinion. I think it just all comes together really well and meshes really well. The armor and weapon designs in this game are also a joy to look at and just play around with. I don't really have any real complaints about them. Maybe add some more, but there's a decent amount. When it comes down to the soundtrack of the game, I feel as though the songs are either just a hit or miss. Some songs, especially the boss fight ones, they're great and they're really just captivating. Like, they put me into the moment and I like them a lot. But pretty much the songs that aren't boss fight songs, they're just there. Like, it's nothing crazy special to me if it's not a boss fight song. I'm not saying that every single song needs to be an absolute banger, but when the boss fight songs are just so good, I kind of had like higher expectations for the other songs when you're not in a boss fight, but that's just my opinion. The songs that aren't used in boss fights just can get kind of boring at times and just sound a little generic for the Greek setting that this game is going for. Next, let's get into the gameplay. This is probably what most people who are eyeing the game are looking for, and when it comes down to the gameplay of Immortals Fenyx Rising, it's its strongest feature. The combat system is very similar to Breath of the Wild if you guys have ever played that, and I mean that in the terms of you using melee weapons, powers, and bows in an open world environment to take down your enemies. The more combat you experience, the more you're going to feel that Breath of the Wild inspiration. It's really evident. But the combat is overall pretty fun, and there's a good amount of new abilities, weapons, and upgrades to unlock as you play to help keep it fresh. There's also puzzles in the game that aren't anything that requires Einstein level of thinking, but it definitely got my brain working, maybe because I'm dumb, I don't know. But there's also a lot of traveling and side quests along with other activities you could do to unlock gear and other things, and overall just more possible time for you to sink into the game. According to howlongtobeat.com and Prima Games, it will take you about 30 hours to complete the main story, 40 to 50 hours if you play normally, doing occasional side quests and activities here and there, and 60 to 80 hours if you're a completionist. So overall, do I think that this game is worth it? Truthfully, hell yeah, and let me tell you why. This game went on sale really quickly, shortly after it dropped, and I'm not sure exactly why. If I had to guess, I would say because of its competition and just overall other games that came out around it, things like that. I'm pretty sure Cyberpunk dropped around this time, but I could be wrong. But I've been seeing this game on sale for $29.99 for a while now, and it's originally listed at $60 or $70-ish dollars. So half off for a game that you could sink up to 80 hours in is a steal to me. And of course, playtime isn't all that matters. It should be quality playtime as well. It shouldn't just be filler or garbage like that. I actually have fun playing this game, and I can definitely see myself sinking in maybe not 80 hours, but probably 50-ish hours into this game, pretty easy. And for $30, which you can actually save $3 and get it used for $27 at GameStop, but I didn't do that. $27 to $30 for a game that you could possibly sink that much time into seems like a steal to me, especially because the PlayStation 5 doesn't have that many games out right now, like I've said before, so I'm always looking out for a new PlayStation 5 game to play. And also, if you were ever interested in playing Breath of the Wild but you don't have a Nintendo Switch, which I know a lot of people that's the case for, this is probably the closest thing you're going to get to it, not including Genshin Impact, but that's free, so you can still try that out. So overall, as long as you know what you're actually getting yourself into before you buy the game, which you obviously do now that you watched the review, and it sounds interesting to you, you really can't go wrong for $29.99. Seriously, it's really not that bad. I actually expected less. My expectations for this game were lower when I went into it because I was reading some reviews, and I think it averaged about a 78 out of 100. But me personally, I'd give it about an 8 out of 10 or 80 out of 100. You know, somewhere around that range. So I understand. But if you like this open world adventure, quests and puzzles and upgrades, weapons, hack and slash almost combat like that, then I'd say this is the game for you. And even if you're not into that, but you just want a new game, especially if you like Greek mythology, $30, you can't go wrong. So with that being said, I appreciate everyone that watched the video. Seriously, thank you so much. My goal is 1,000 subscribers by the end of 2021, so if you want to subscribe and help me reach that, I'd greatly appreciate it. I'll send you a kiss in the mail or whatever, I don't know, but seriously, thank you guys so much, and I will see you later.